You only ever want to select that one because you've only got the one tractor. If you ever want to change your implement, it's in this section, implement width. So we'll change it to what this actually is, 6 meters. And we're going to go back and then next. And this is where you'll select, essentially if you've only got the one farm, it'll never change, but if you had 2 farms, you could add another farm. So we want to create a new field, and you call it, what do you want to call it? Do you just go by fields?
Yeah, yep.
1. So yeah, when you've got field 2 in there, there'll be the drop down, and then tick. And then this here, by default, implement widths, sorry, your guidance width will always be the same as your implement width. So yeah, that's about right. If you wanted to change to a curve or a pivot, it's all in there. We don't want to leave that straight for now, so tick. And then essentially when you first get to here, it's showing you on your A point. So when you want to set your A point, you hit it. And then there we're on our B point, so then you drive to your B point, and this will become ungrade, and then you can hit it again. And that's your AB line. Just for this, to get one in here. So once you create your AB line in that field, you want to name it, because see, it's just a date.
Yep.
A big long date. So the best way to do that is to pretend you're going to set another new one, and instead of adding a new one, just select that one, hit the keypad. Wherever you see a keypad, that means you can name it or rename it. So your main plant lines, we recommend calling them Master AB. So now that's there. So every time you come into this field, it'll have that option only of that one AB. So then you can obviously set a boundary to a field. To do that, you just go up. See that very bottom one, that's to do with setting AB lines as a nudging and all that. So the next one up is a boundary. So you want to select boundary, and you're going to want to add it. And so this here, you want to select an outer boundary. It's pretty self-explanatory. If it was inner, like so if you had a dam in the middle of that paddock, that's an inner, but you always want to mark the outer. And then your boundary offset. So essentially that is from the receiver on your roof. So the distance to the left, so if you're going clockwise, it's going to be on your left. If you're going anti-clockwise, you want to do it on your right. Then we'll just go clockwise. So essentially this is what these measurements are, is marking your boundary from that rover, from the receiver on your roof. So essentially we always use our front left wheel. So because we're on left here, we'll use our front left wheel as an indicator. But you want to go more than that because you can't put your wheel right on the boundary. So we use a meter. We'll say 1 meter. So therefore, where you want your boundary to be, put your front left wheel a meter from that position, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So then forward, you want to go the distance from your receiver on your roof to the wheel. I'm going to take a stab and say it's 2 meters. But then you've got to think, you can't get that front wheel on your boundary, so your bucket's a good one. So the receiver to your bucket, because that way if you've got a fence line, you could just slowly nudge your bucket till you see the fence move, and that way you know you're right. So we're going to say for this instance 5 meters from the receiver on the roof to the bucket, and then you go tick, and then you literally drive to where you want it to start, and then you can either just go pause. If your paddocks are square, this is a good way of doing it. Instead of driving with it playing, you drive your tractor to where you want to be, put your bucket to touching the fence, and your front left wheel a metre off that fence line, and then you press pause, drive up to your next corner of your fence line, press play, pause again, because that's just marked one spot there. Drive the next one, play, pause. If it's got 4 corners, you do that 4 times, and when you're done, you stop. Do you want to save this boundary? Yes. Doesn't have enough points. And then you don't name them, because it's actually, when you at the start, you selected field 1, it's already saved to that. So that's essentially that.
Yeah. Okay. I'll pause it here while we have a chat to Dan.